Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show. I am your host, Sabrina Oxford, with Facebook Live, and tonight we're bringing on Grace Arabella Lee. Let me just go let her know the new Facebook Live has started. Okay. Okay. All right, now, come on, Grace. It's time to show on up. Okay, here we go. All right, and bring them on camera. Add. Add the camera. And she's added. There we go. Hallelujah.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi. All right, we got Grace. Let me do the intro.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm late, by the way. I'm not tech savvy. This is my first time using it, and this is my first time figuring it out, too. So, okay.
That's okay. Yep, let's all get it all figured out. Okay, so everybody that's tuning in, this is my friend Grace Arabella Lee. She's an actress and an author and is connected to so many people. She's just always busy. Probably the busiest lady that I got that still has time to communicate with me. So we do talk on the phone. She's my friend, and guess what? She is in 100 Facebook friends, which you can get your copy anywhere. Just Google Sabrina Oxford 100 Facebook friends. The Queen of Kindness strikes again. And what I do is go around and find people in the world that are using their life in a worthy manner, somebody such as Grace, and I put them in the book to help lift them up and promote them, and for them to be forever remembered in the world for being in a book for as long as the book exists. So I want people to always know about Grace. And she's a wonderful, wonderful lady, and she's here to tell us about her. So I'm going to shut on up right now and let her hit the floor. Grace, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your book is and how you got into that? And then we'll...
Okay, well, my name is Grace Arabella Lee. I am so honored to be Chapter 40. I am Sabrina's friend for a lot of years, but my book is not coming out until this year. So it's coming out in 4 to 6 weeks by Dorrance Publishing. But the thing is, they're going to put me on a media tour and everything. It's called The Good Witch of Winchester. It's like a romantic fairy tale saga novel. So it's kind of like the Thornbirds, except it's pure fairy tale, no smut, and it's about the Salem witch who was born in like around 1940, like right where The Sound of Music was coming in, and she starts out as a teacher in Salem, and then Salem is a whole new world, and she goes to Los Angeles, and basically, she has an offer to work in charity work in Los Angeles, so she flies out there, and she's writing all these letters to ambassadors and politicians, and Christopher Plummer, who is from some of my famous friends are there. I knew Christopher Plummer before, and Roger Moore and Sean Connery before they passed, but I do have them memorialized in my book. I hope nobody sues. But so he decides, well, what do you do outside of charity work if you don't get paid? He goes, well, moving to California, I thought I'd take an extra job because, they pay. It's flexible, and money is not my first priority. So he decides to put her in The Sound of Music, and all these stories like Gone with the Wind, all these outrageous stories are interwoven. But, she eventually follows Christopher Plummer to Europe. And then, we do a little bit of time traveling with Amadeus and Tom Hulse and the Christopher Reeve with Somewhere in Time. But it is only book 1. I want to write books 2 and 3.
I'm looking forward.
So basically, yes, I do, have taken a lot of pride in it. I think it's going to be a classic, but for myself, what I do is I major in teaching, so I'm still a substitute teacher. I've worked for over 7 school districts, and I'm a SAG actress, and I've worked in for the job that gives me the gray hair, gives me the weight and everything, is what is it? It's pro bono public relations. Last 10 years, since 2012, I became a Screen Actors Guild actress. But my VIP people always take me away, so I never put anything into my own career. So I'm hoping with this book, my finances and my career get turned around a little bit, and I'm more of a public figure because I really need the income, and I really feel after 10 years, it's my ethical obligation to go out there, support my friends, support them publicly. Like I have all the Windsors and the Trumps and everything. So I have Ivanka, and then I also have Chelsea Clinton, the Clintons. Barack Obama and I are great friends. Joe Biden, all the presidents since I started, plus some old presidents. The point is, if I know Vladimir Putin and King Felipe, it's up my duty, my responsibility to go out there and say a few words and try to see if we can rally us all together in public rather than, having a public life that's so private because I'm, famous to the famous. But if I don't go out there and bring us all together, I'm kind of like wasting my life, wasting my time. But it's hard to find a publicist like to work with me on this. It is because a lot of people don't take you seriously, but I've asked them to go through my Rolodex, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so basically I do have Charles's blessing to go ahead and use their names and everything. It's so all cool because it's been 10 years. But I still would like to find a gung-ho publicist, a little bit more support from the royal family and things like that.
Right on. But, have you thought about what you can do outside of them? Like you got your connection with me, girl. I'm hooking you up, Facebook and time, put you in my book, posting for you. That all helps. And then as you develop your own career, because, I know what you do for them is just amazing. I did the Prince Charles Rainforest project, that, and I had with Julie on the show that she did that with me. But there are things that I see in you that can rise up that are even totally separated from them. Like you are your own famous person.
Yeah, I know,
that.
but at the end of the day, I feel like I would like to support my friends out there, even if I make money or not. Like,
right.
If this thing, if I get Meghan Markle heat or whatever, that's okay. I'm a parent, so I'm accepting, and I realize there's going to be a certain amount of backlash or, just people talking. People in America are, we're friends, Sabrina, and you were an author long before I was, and you've been very supportive. And, every time I ask Sabrina a question, she writes like a 1-page answer, so I know that she has time for me always. And that, I wish she lived in LA because, we would probably be roommates and working together all the time because, she was all talking about IMDb numbers, and I don't know anything about stuff like that because it's like I'm a novice, and I'm the one at the T-Mobile store. I was asking them, but I do think creatively I did a good job, although technically I'm not so much inclined. But I think that you really do find out who your true friends are, even though 10 years of being in the shadows. Gosh, Sabrina, it's hard. It's like trudging. What do I have, to give? Well, my first priority outside of money is to see if we could get us all together. I sort of have ambitions of being a minister like Joel Osteen, except in this politically correct, but I will be the first to admit I don't know the Bible chapters by heart. Although, when I was young, I was very much a Sound of Music girl, like singing spiritually. Music is like, God, music and God is very personal to me, even though, I can't recite chapter and verse.
Right.
But I will say that since becoming a minister online, I would like to get us all together. I feel like, it's hypocritical for me and my friends to have so many powerful friends, and if I'm a public figure, I'm only public to, and I see my friends on these tabloid headlines. I'd like to get us all together at some point, right? I feel like it's only honest, and also it's a good Christian thing to do, to preach, unity, kumbaya, and all that stuff. But if this fails, and I'm not as obnoxious as I'd like to be, like the Kardashians, doing whatever for right. But at some points I've been desperate like that. If that fails, I'd like to walk the honorable path and still see if I can, get a minor job on a soap opera or something, Even if I take Meghan Markle heat, which, I'm an honest, good person, but, people are always saying such bad things about her. Every time I hear it, it's like annoying to me. But because I feel like I'm going to have that shoe. But, I feel like, with famous friends, you can't really get them together. I mean, they're way too VIP. Like Sabrina, I ask her a question, she gets back to me on the page, like, you're like always reliable and everything. For that, I'm so grateful. But I'd like to get.
Here,
Uh-huh.
can I say something? Here's something somebody else doesn't know about me, is that once you buy one of my books, every future book that I write, you get the free PDF. Like,
Yeah.
no other author does that. There's some people who have all 12 of my books paid one time for the very first book, that very first book. And they keep getting the free PDFs of every book. Now, they can buy the soft or hard copy too, but at least they get a free copy of it. No other author goes out and does that. And I do, like she said, I actually call people and be like, hey, you're in my book, or hey, I'm thinking about putting you in my book. Tell me about your life. I will call people. I don't care if I know you or don't know you. Let's get to know each other. Let's bring everybody together.
You know what, Sabrina? I think it's a really honorable thing that you're doing because you're donating money. Normally I would do that myself, but right now I'm in debt, so I have to go on this book tour. But this book tour was planned like over like a year or 2 years ago, so it's not that big of a deal. But I hope to go national with this. But I think it's a very honorable thing that you're doing, that you're donating money to like college kids and orphans and stuff. Because normally I would be doing it as if I
Foster
weren't like
care.
it,
It's for
and
foster care.
yeah, and I anticipate for myself, honestly, I anticipate a lot of people telling me, "Oh, like, you're trying to get the famous off the coattails." But honestly, that's not true. It would not take me 10 years to come out and speak my truth. But I think that with this book coming out, it's the perfect time. And if this does not go through, I hope it will go through. I feel like I have to have a loud enough media presence so that it does go through. I have to really hire a great manager or publicist, and I really have to generate some noise, even if it's heat, onto myself so that I can stay in the public eye. Because a lot of my friends, like Ashton Kutcher, texts me still, but he texts a odd group of people. Then Pierce Brosnan counts on me. I've known him for 10 years. He was one of my first Facebook friends. Kristen Stewart was one of my first Facebook friends. I need to be out there to support them where they feel they're comfortable enough to reach me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I disappear and I'm mysterious and aloof and there's a force field around my house, how is anybody, I'm like a grandparent. When my electric car went up in flames, I got to tell you this, 2020, June 2020, 3 p.m., 3 a.m., my new electric car went up in flames. If I'm thinking about writing a will, I saw my entire career go up in flames. Everything, I had to call the cops, and the cops were like, very sympathetic, and then Detective Ponce called me. But if I see my life going up in flames, I'm thinking I'm in the low 40s. I better do something with my life, do something with my friends, or else everything's going to go up in flames. I have no will. I have no money to leave to these people. I have no children. These people are my children. I better do something, go out and support them or something. That's
Everybody
the kind of
comes
thing
to
that you think about when you're getting.
and everybody comes to that realization at some point. Some people come to that realization when they're 12, and some people
But
don't get it until they're 9.
it didn't hit me. It was like 2020 was like 2-3 years ago, and I knew, this is not being right with my life. Not coming out, staying in this hidey hole, having a force field. It's just too much responsibility. My celebrity overhead is caving in. I hear stories about Prince Andrew that I know are false. I I I, I
But
could
we
debunk a
need
lot
to
of
stop
myths out
that.
there from famous people, and I may be generating a lot of heat, but you're going out there and protecting the people that you love. I think that's the most important thing to do.
Right on. So let us swing back to your book, The Witch from Manchester? Manchester.
Sorry. It's the Good Witch of Winchester. Yeah, yeah.
Winchester. The Good Witch of Winchester. Um, oh my goodness. Names are not my forte.
Yeah,
Forgive me. Please forgive
okay. It's okay, Sabrina. I mean, you wrote like so many, and this was my first one, so don't worry about
me. So what
it.
made you write this one? Like, what inspired you? What was your
Well,
inspiration?
um, part of it was having a more stable income because of all the calls I get from London. well, more messages. They never really actually pick up the phone for 10 years. Like, I know the guy asked me, have you ever met Prince Andrew? No, but he harasses me around the clock. Okay, so in not in a bad sexual way. He's always been very honorable, very rigid, and also very snotty sometimes, so I know that this can be true. But all the calls, and I've, messaged Eugenie and every single member of that family. So, um, oh, what was the question again? Why?
What inspired you to write your book?
Oh, yeah. Um, First of all, I couldn't get out of the house. It was like having kids. If you get messages from London, it's like they have nothing better to do except to be glued to their phones, and then you have Vladimir Putin, then a long line of people, and you find out that you have no time on your hands, and you're making your priorities, making your sacrifices. What is most important to me in life? Going out to an extra job and getting money, or staying home and being present for my friends? Well, I made my choice. Subsequently, I put on a lot of weight, did not help my career at all, but at least at home, I could have the space and privacy to write some, and hopefully I was thinking about making an investment, and I'm not into the money business like insurance. I just made friends with Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, and I'm so honored to have them. And they're like, "What are you doing on my Rolodex?" And I had to tell them all the truth. And I said, "I'm not a money person. I majored in teaching and everything." But Jeff said he could help me use a Bitcom app, and I don't have to invest anything. It's free and get the ball rolling that way. But the thing,
This is what
I didn't tell him about my financial problems. It was just like sharing my world and his world and stuff like that. Well, I wanted to expand creatively. I'm pretty spiritual, I think. I'm a good person, but I do work with people. I majored in child development. I thought I'd be teaching elementary school, but after college, I had an adventurous spirit. I couldn't settle down in a full-time job with 3 kids, especially since the teaching environment, I found it was really political. I mean, you would get in trouble for doing any kind of stuff as a substitute teacher, and I wasn't sure that it was right for me, so I just substitute taught for 7.5 years, and that time I got to travel. But at the same time, um, oh, um, I wanted, I had some ideas in my head, fantasies, if you will. Romantic writers have fantasies and they write those into books. So I just thought, hey, writing a book is long. I don't think I had it in me, but I thought I'd write a screenplay. Then I forwarded my stuff to Barney Cohen, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that writer. Well, anyway, he said, why don't you just turn this into a book, because
do
it's
I,
not.
Sabrina, know about who wrote The Teenage Witch?
Yeah, but he said it was definitely not in screenplay format. And Stephen King, my friend, said send 10 pages. He never got back to me, but he did mention he was really busy with his projects, right? So basically, he said to mark it into a book. And so I had to like edit, refine several times and rewrite it several times. But, there are a couple of publishers that were gung-ho about it, like Page Publishing, Dortz Publishing, Ex Libris, Christian publisher, and Newman Springs Publishing. I just picked 2 non-exclusive ones. I picked Dorrance Springs and Ex Libris because I could keep the rights to my book. Oh, I do have a question, Sabrina. If I publish with those 2 hybrid publishers, I can still self-publish on Amazon, right?
Yeah, because they're hybrid.
Oh, good. Because, there's a Simon Schuster self-publisher who called me for like appointment. I asked her the same question, can I still self-publish on Amazon? And she said yes, right? Because I didn't sign a like non-complete compete clause. Like, right.
Clause.
Mhm. So basically, there you go. But I did want to go into the creative arts. I feel like as a writer, I'm just like honing my craft. When you edit your material several times down, and you find out what you're good at. And if I had to change anything about this book, I think I wrote it from the standpoint of a third-person narrative, like a soap opera, like a fairy tale. I should have done more perspectives from other people and definitely more dialogue. I hope to option this into a screenplay, but outside of my ministry duties, I do have other goals of my own. I don't want to get heat for this, but I want to be known as a good writer, a successful businessman. That means I want to sell copies. I want to invest in my $1 million dream house in the foothills of Sierra Madre, right at the mountains of San Gabriel Mountains, technically still in Los Angeles, looking over the valley. And every day you wake up and the mountains are like right in front of you, and then the valleys below, twinkling lights and the sunset. So it's a $1 million house. I really, when I was working, since I'm 47 years old, I've never really put much stock in money, which is why I ended. But I think for the first time in my life, I think with this book coming out, I do hope that it's a success. Do hope that I can invest money. I don't want like my relatives always to say, "Oh, you're a failure as an actress. You're a failure at this, that. You're not generating any money." And to my dad,
You know,
like the whole barometer of
success
money
is
is the
not
whole
by the
barometer of
$1.
success. And I don't believe that. I think like if you don't have children, you're not married. You should spend all your love and all your energy on your people. So I'm not a money person, but I do have ambitions, and I think getting my ministry credentials from Christian Global Outreach, that was like for the PhD that I missed, and the other part of my dream is to be successful, you know, um, just successful as a writer, whatever, and to have that, um, to have that house, something to show for it. Even though I never put much stock in it before, but now it's like a nice bucket list dream to fulfill since you've done all your other dreams, and I mean, since I've spent 10 years nurturing people like they were my kids, it's nice to get out of your element and do something else, even though Sabrina, I will tell you, I'm never going to give up on my kids. I mean, I say kids, Andrew is like 15 years older than me. And then Charles says, yeah, it's okay. You can use our name, Gung Ho. And then I've even asked Will and Kate, can I tag along with you guys? So he didn't really get back to me, but I mean, Kate really seemed to love me. Kate calls me my beloved, and I've known her for 10 years, and she knows my character. And I think it's just a matter of time. Charles says, tell me when your book is coming out so I can prepare for the onslaught with my lawyers and my team. I said, oh, I should tell him for the 6 weeks, but he did say that, you do have a good heart and good things will happen to you. And I genuinely believe that because, you've known us and you put up with us for 10 years and, but, I still would like to tag along with Will and Kate. I know that sounds outrageous, but when you know people for 10 years, you can ask those questions. Tag along for Will and Kate because I know going out on my own, I only have limited support from a publicist and from my book publishers. If I had Will and Kate on my side, they generate the political correctness. I could say it in a way that won't be, misconstrued as anything else, and they know that my heart is in the right place. And also, I feel like Will and Kate have staying power. They're always going to be around because they're royal, right? So if they're always going to be around since they're royal, then that means your line of credibility. You don't have to hire a publicist. They say, oh, this woman's not for real. She's fake. She's a flash in the pan. On to the next interview. You're going to be called back. And because I know a lot of my celebrity friends are shy or intimidated by me, like I was thinking they would snub me, but Richard Gere, you know how many people have asked me for charity money? Prince Harry, Richard Gere, George Clooney, Ellen DeGeneres. It's like everyone takes like charity, donate to my charity. I mean, they know I'm a good do-gooder. I think that's their way of breaking the ice. But when you like give up your career to be with them, it's not necessarily like you may look posh, but you don't have like bucket loads of cash. I mean, the way you look in Britain, I mean, separates you. Like my first time in England, I was flying around. I was like total culture shock from the United States. 2005, that's the year I decided to quit right after I came back from England. All you saw was like grassland. And then there were peasants, and then there were commodores, and there was that whole generation. But as long as you looked respectable, clean cut, you were one of the good people. And I saw when I was on my tour with Italy, I was on a young people's tour. A lot of Italians had a lot of attitude, gave the younger people. I never got any of that. I fit in great in Europe. So, but even though I'm Asian, you thought you'd get a lot of discrimination. No, it didn't really come my way. I mean, they're more like classist, elitist type of people. It's not like it's more like riffraff, torn jeans. Well, but you can wear anything as long as they see like you're generally clean cut. They don't have a problem with you. I wanted to move there in
Well,
2005. It was
is
just too
this
expensive.
acceptable? You like my dress?
I like it, Serena. Oh, it's rose. Okay, check out mine. It's all polka dot. Okay, little flowers.
Yeah, we're such girls. Here's our pretty dresses, guys.
Okay, so look, Sabrina, I look like Porky Pig. I feel like I put on a pound of ton of poundage. Look at my double chin.
You know, hey, I'm a skinny mini person, and I have one little spot that I don't like in pictures that come out double chin. Us,
Wait, Sabrina, how
who
old are you? I'll
cares?
tell you how old I am.
52.
Okay,
52.
okay, so I'm trailing you by 5 years, but you've got more experience out there. And you've got more experience making things happen. We got to lean on each other. You know what? I'm like thinking, I'm so tired these days, but I am looking forward to going out there. Whether the public will accept me, that's why I wanted to tag along with Will and Kate. Like you're with them. It's like having an army boot inside the door. And I'm kind of nervous that, I would go out there and my friends wouldn't have enough time to get back to me. Ivanka Trump and I messaged a lot. She messaged a lot with me before her father started running for office, and I hear he's going to start doing it again.
Well, yeah.
So I don't,
And she's in one of my books, and
yeah, I know. I have my own YouTube channel, but I don't, but the thing is, even if I get like 5 national interviews, I have no staying power without my friends around. It's kind of like you're riding on their coattails, but you have no other choice because you feel like everyone's so intimidated by you. Like so many celebrities, like Henry Cavill said, "Oh, I'll come to your house, never show up, never show up." It's like, and my aunts like say, "Oh, they're all fake. Prince Andrew's fake, and everything's fake." So I'm telling you the negative side of my life, right? But you know what? They're not really fake because you have people like Princess Eugenie and the Queen messaging you, "Hey, why haven't you paid attention to Andrew since the first thing she did after Prince Philip died? Hey, my son is important. Why aren't you paying?" But I hate to see him being grilled in the press because he's really not a bad person. He's kind of a snob. There's no way he would do the horizontal mambo. Our society in America and Australia is so kickback that you can say whatever you want, and it's not like the witch trials. Like before, when a woman started accusing a man of something, it's like she would be the one blacklisted. These days, like you blacklist royals and nobility. I think that's totally unfair because I've known him. He's been bugging me for the last 10 years. This is like before all this nonsense even started, even before like Meghan Markle. So I really know this family inside and out, right?
right.
And I even think
Hey,
Megan is a nice girl. I don't know why. I just told Charles, let's just be a little bit more accepting because Megan's young, and I know, she has a mouth and lack of discretion. But the thing is, she is a nice girl. You can't deny that those two are a good couple. They're loyal to each other. They support each other, and they love each other. And they don't have like any maybe, they don't have any black sheep marks on them. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong except they don't know how the system works. The system was basically shut up and, have loyalty to the royal family and do your work. It's not always like a walk in the park, right? But I don't think she understands that. She wants her life. But I don't know why everyone, like yesterday I was reading comments, Meghan Markle was never a Hollywood star. I'm like, that is like the meanest thing I've ever heard. I mean, Meghan Markle, sure, she's a Hollywood star. I mean, you can't cut her that little bit of slack, and it was a woman saying it, so it was a blonde woman. So I'm thinking, you really have negative intentions or a very small heart that you can't, extend a little bit of generosity to her. That's what I was thinking about Prince Andrew. People who say Prince Andrew, we all know that he didn't. I mean, there's a whole, it's blood. I hate to sound like a snob myself, but it's blood, and also the way you're raised doesn't dictate that you're going to do something like that, And I've known him. He's given me a terrible time for the last 10 years, so still I put up with him, and he's snobby. He's not the kind of person, he does have like a walk that he walks. He has a certain, path that he walks. He doesn't like, he's not like broad in general. Australians and, United States people drive between all the lanes and disregard the lights. He's not that kind of person. He's very regimental. So, so
well, let's
he's kind of, if I had to describe him, he's kind of rigid and stodgy. I mean, after 10 years getting, everyone's pounding my head in. Even William last time, even like Eugenie said, you should just get the royal membership card. And the Queen's been after me 10 years, royal membership card. Well, anyway.
I asked about that, and you told me you didn't want it because once you get it, they make you work and work and work, and you're already working like a dog.
You know what? I told them, I'm working for your family.
So I know the work.
Yeah, I know. I told them I'm working for you for free for 10 years. I'm not a face person. I'm not out there shaking hands for 10 years. I never hear the end of it from you. So I'm like working for you for free, administrator. It's like, what am I doing? I'm like your mother. I'm cooking, cleaning, and providing and worrying about you guys, but you guys never show up. And, I think part of the Windsors, they kind of have a little bit of difficulty standing up for me. And I don't blame them because I'm nonpartisan. So I'm not a Trump. I'm not a Windsor. I'm not like Meghan Markle, take the Windsor name and then, be forever branded as one. I want to be around for everyone, which is part of the problem.
Yeah, because it's
So,
very side. You have
yeah.
to take side.
Yeah, and then, after I speak up, I know Trump, I'm hoping he's going to say good things like, I've known Grace. She's not like any kind of bad person. She's not riffraff. She's not trying to make trouble. She's a good student. I hope she says what he says about his daughter, Tiffany. Good student, a nice person, and stuff like that. But I hope I even emailed him and President Biden and President Obama, please help me. Because, I have to find my footing, and if you're going out without the Windsors on your arm, then I have to, create it myself. And,
But I
and
want you to realize, Grace, is that you
uh-huh,
are your own Windsor. You are your own Donald Trump. You are Grace Arabella Lee. You don't
uh-huh.
need them as much as you believe you need them. You just need to be shining your light.
Yeah, I know,
Whatever
Sabrina. I don't need them. I'm not using them for money or fame or anything, but I feel like after 10 years, shouldn't we solidify some of this stuff in public rather than just 10 years, you've got to like close up shop. You know what I'm saying? You've got to tie up loose ends. You've got to be honest with the public, and they've got to be honest with you. And Windsors have to acknowledge your bond, which Prince Charles says, yeah, okay, everyone was on board with that. Will, Kate, they were all on board with that. So it is good, but I was hoping for a little bit more royal support. I think once I come out on my own, I hope to be able to close the faction because, I'd rather know them in real life and, have them visit me here in Arcadia or go to London rather than always doing this messaging thing with them because it takes so much time, gray hair, and energy every week. If you know President Biden, you like to know him in real life.
I don't know.
And, I know just about every Hollywood VIP. If they want to solidify relationships, it's better to do it, publicly out in the open, have a real life rather than constantly bombarding me on cyberspace because I'm like that parent who's like waking up in the middle of the night. That scene Kirstie Alley's pouring coffee into the baby baby bottle because she's so like devoid of sleep and everything that she her private life or her personal life or her life through the phone is totally different from what the public recognizes. And at some point, you just got to stop the insanity. Let's all go together. We're all Christians. Democrats, Republicans, Bill Clinton, Bush. Let's all, like Hillary Clinton said, like Melania Trump said, we need our teachers. They're good people. Like Hillary Clinton says, this is not about one party. We're all in this together. We all know each other. Higher up echelon, and let's all like put away all our nonsense and let's work for a greater good. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, like I'm a preacher, or whatever. I guess technically I am, although but I don't want like my Republican and Democrat friends are always fighting and competing. Wouldn't it be nice if we put all that hash away, and then I hash away and just join hands together in public? Or is that like too high of a lofty goal to achieve? But I put all my Hollywood friends in a Facebook messaging group. I could add 100 celebrities, and I learned through the years only put the famous celebrities together because they don't want their information leaked. Like Christopher Lloyd, I put some like lesser known and just regular friends. My friends would bombard them and they would leave the group because I don't want my information out there. But like if you put Harrison Ford, recently I put all my A-listers together. Harrison Ford and Donald Trump and these people don't mind having each other's information because they're discreet, they're honorable, and also they're all in the public sphere. They know what it is to be out in public and to carry that weight, and they don't want any kind of so basically, I'm pleased to announce that with my Filmmaker Friends United group, some of my more recent groups, so that only put A-listers like Mark Harmon, like I was on NCIS several times, and at lunch I asked Mark Carmen, "Do you remember me when you were Facebook friends?" He goes, "Yeah, of course I remember you." So it's weird that my aunt says, "Oh, they're all fake," but it's not fake when Matthew Perry recognizes you on set and your other friends, your celebrity friends recognize. But legally, they're supposed to focus on their work and not associate with extras, so they're just like waving and stuff. But I know they're for real because
Right.
I'm an extra, so I'm in that world as well. Uh, but the fact is, I think we should just close up shop. It's been 10 years with, Prince Andrew and Princess Eugenie and the Queen. And sadly, I've seen Prince Philip and the Queen depart, and I just can't imagine the life. These life changes make you think about things and who you really care about and who you want to support. I don't have a will, I don't have money to leave, but I'd like to leave some kind of legacy. Let's build that bridge into reality if we can. The one thing that worries me, Sabrina, you know, when my electric car blew up, it was either arson or an overheated electric engine that just combusted in the middle of the night. But whatever it was, I called ABC, NBC, everyone I could think of, because even if it combusted in the middle of the night, I wanted documentation to prevent, because I was probably the fifth or the fourth person whose electric car in history combusted. Nobody would help me out. It's like nobody was even curious. I don't know why there's a force field around my house for reporters too, but sometimes you have to be, I feel at this point, a little bit pushy to get your door. You're just helping people not get, this is an important warning that you should have put out there, and nobody even seemed to care. Just, I hope with my publicists who have not returned my calls that they're not going to be so ambivalent, that they truly are going to, do their job, money or not, take the heat and just go the distance, because, it's just when you have important things to say and people just shut you down, kick you off, it's not good. So at this point, I'd rather take Meghan Markle heat every day of my life. Like every day I see Megan bombarded, I think, oh my God, how can you keep your head above water and your chin above water? That must be so hard, girl. Every time I'm like feeling sorry for her. I'd rather take that kind of heat than like, okay, you're this weird person, but get off our stage and we're not calling you back again. I don't want that situation to happen, and I'd rather be the bad guy and be a little bit more obnoxious, like the Kardashians, to make some noise and get my foot in the door, rather than have them swipe me away and disappear, because that's a risk that I just can't afford doing. I can't risk that happening because, I have so many friends who are depending on me. I can't close up shop or leave up this life, or, I'm not going to give up on them either. There's 4,000 people, I got to go out in the public sphere and make things happen. Once in a while, my friends like Eternal, like Ashton Kutcher, will just speak up, or Tom Cruise will speak up and say, oh, I know her. She's for real. She's not like a gold digger, or, someone who's trying to put money in her pocket. She's actually out there because, I mean, every day she works for Facebook, and it's generally for the greater good to keep us all united. And it's not like she has any ulterior motive. And I totally believe everything. She's a genuine person. I totally believe everything she has to say. So even if I have to be a little obnoxious, do something crazy, I have to stay in the public sphere, no matter who doesn't like it. And you know what? I got like my first taste of backlash, Sabrina, when I just moved to Arcadia, I posted Marquise Who's Who on the Arcadia page, and then there's this guy who is totally dissing me, who says, "You're nobody. I haven't seen you in anything. Did you pay to get on Marquise Who's Who?" And then there's this other guy who said, "I agree with you, John. My sisters was a valedictorian. I haven't heard from her since, and I was, requested to join Marquise. I'm just as good as this girl." And I never thought such like petty bullshit, like high school bullshit, could happen with grown-ups in the community, but it was like vitriol. I don't know what they had against me or whatever, but there was nothing in that press release that was so offensive. It was just my picture in an article. But still, boy, let the waves roll with hate. But, even if I got that, I'd be grateful. At this point, I would, because, your life doesn't really mean much, and the work that you've done for the last 10 years doesn't really mean much unless you're willing to stick your neck out there and take some chances and take the heat, So I'm saying bring on the heat.
Not many people actually want the heat, except for Grace.
Yeah,
Because,
I know, but
well,
I've got to do. I can't be a chicken little. I can't run away. I can't run away from my responsibilities. I feel with 4,000 celebrity friends, I do have a responsibility. you could say as a parent, as a mentor, as a counselor, best friend, I can't just let these accounts go and keep them all in cyberspace. I've got to do something. I've got to stand up for them, and not everyone's going to like it, but you're preaching harmony, you're preaching goodness, you're preaching kumbaya. Who's going to sue you? You're a minister talking, and you honestly are trying to do the best you can for the people that you love. And that's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say some shout outs to some people. We have actress Ramona Howard. I can remember Ramona. She was on our show last time, and then we had Hans in here and Matt in here. Matt's a friend of mine from a long time ago. He's also in the book. He's in the the second book, the first book, I think. Yeah, he's in the first book, and then I'm going to be putting him into my next one coming out in October.
Oh gosh, I'm really excited. Sabrina, you gotta keep praying, keep your fingers crossed that this works. Because I feel like to get I'm gonna, this is like a disclaimer, so when you upload this on YouTube, I'll have like a will testimony. This is my last will and testimony on the video call, so that no one sues me later after I come out. But okay, be prepared. The worst thing I'm ever gonna do publicly is I'm going to have to do some thing to keep me in the public eye. I'm not going to lie or anything. I feel like that's dishonorable. But if I deliberately draw a little bit of like heat or attention or just come off as a little bit obnoxious or whatever, that's okay. Because that means that people love obnoxious people. Like my Harvey Weinstein, I think Harvey Weinstein's a friend of mine. I don't really believe those either, by the way, even though Rose McGowan's like, but you know what? I don't know him well enough to judge, but I think that's fake. Donald Trump says there's a lot of fake news out there. And, some of the more outrageous things I have to say are like, I think, the Windsor line dates back to the Stone Age. So basically all these people are old. Anyway, and I don't believe like I know these people well enough to know which stories are real, which stories I'm not sure, it could be or whatever, and which stories are definitely fake. But I think like my friend Donald Trump says, there's a lot of fake news. And did you hear that wild, wacky story about this woman who says she was She said she was like molested by Donald Trump in a department store. I'm like, woman, you might have a really rich fantasy life. When I first made friends with Trump, I thought he was completely outrageous. I thought, should I have a friend who's so left wing and outspoken and all that stuff?
Great.
But you get to know him, and I just gotta speak up for him just this one time. You get to know him. He isn't success. Melania Trump is actually a good person. And, you get to know Marla Maples. Yeah, I know. Marla Maples is actually a good person, too. I think that she was just young and passionate, speaking out, saying, oh, best, she shouldn't have done that. But, these people aren't so bad once you get to know them. And even, you don't become successful by being like a flunky or a F student or being a person who won't listen to reason. I've noticed over the years that Donald Trump will listen to reason. When you put it diplomatically, as I always am, listen to reason, and you're not like, as long as you're not riffraff or whatever, I think most people are reasonable, and there's probably a reason why Hillary and Bill and Donald were friends. I think they have to have some kind of personality, some kind of good things for them, right? I don't think just because he's brusque, I don't think he's like a jerk that much. I think that, he's just very busy. And sometimes when you're very busy, you just boom, 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 right? So, and also, I'd like to say that, since I know all these people like Thomas Gibson, like Darmon Gregg, he got fired off of Criminal Minds, unfortunately. Like, he and I were commiserating together because I'm like, Crew said people are so mean and everything. I don't know. I think he's taking his share of heat and everything. I think it's just watching all this go down, and like I told you, that blonde girl yesterday, I was reading all the vitriol toward Meghan Markle. I'm like, what is your problem? Meghan Markle's not a Hollywood star. she's a Hollywood star. She's almost
I
she goes,
really love
I've
the
lived in
show.
America all my life and I'm an American, so are you talking about her race? I'm an American and she I've never even watched Suits, but you know what? Those people are really obnoxious. Like these are our celebrities and she's a nice person. Have a little respect in what you throw out there. And have a little respect in what you say, right?
Right,
It's just like
Morgan.
I'm totally yeah, I'm totally in team sympathy with Harry and Meghan. I just think they've had a bad rap, but I think they're very loyal and dedicated. They make an awesome pair because they're always loyal to each other. They always support each other, and I love them both. So I know them both.
Awesome.
I know them both.
Let's swing back to you though. The show's supposed to be about you, and you want to be talking about everybody you know, but we want to talk about Grace Arabella Lee.
Well, right now I'm at the brink of my life. I'm trying to just get out there and, with this publicity team that I have with Dorrance, who's going to go with me on a media tour, I told them, I forwarded Prince Charles's email messages. I said, expect the shit to hit the fan because I have a lot of celebrity supporters. Well, I have the royal family's approval in going forward. And I know that my friends are going to support me, so expect this thing to blow up. So let's go big, let's go national. And the book is coming out quite soon, so I think I'm at a crossroads in my life. I feel like my Facebook is a celebrity crossroads for A-listers and, all those people who have passed, like Christopher Plummer, Sean Connery, Roger Moore. Hollywood celebrities face royalty and politicians. So, that's a lot of responsibility. It's like I'm a cargo truck driver, Mack truck driver with a lot of cargo on board. I can't just let it go. I mean, I can't be silent, even if I have to be a little bit obnoxious. I can't let my friends go. I can't let them disappear. I can't lose in this case by default. Even if I have to stay on air by being a little bit controversial, that's what I have to do because, onwards, Christian, so I'm doing it for the greater good. I have to stay out there long enough for my celebrity friends to reach me back. I have to care about their interests and their needs and their future. I have to find a way to get us all together, even if they're not publicly. Like, a lot of people are, like, scared around me. They're intimidated by me. They're not as brave, uh,
Right,
publicly, and they
right.
don't feel like they have enough leverage to speak up for me. Even the Windsors, after knowing 10 years, they'd rather me go out on my own, and do it rather than they do it because, I don't have a gold membership card. I haven't crossed over to the Windsor clan, so to speak. I haven't, paid that because I was afraid the Queen would make me jump through more hoops. But it's like a non-negotiable with them. It's like it determines their destiny or something. So they've been really on my case for that for the last 10 years. I definitely wish, in retrospect, that I had made the Queen more happy by just paying the darn thing. But I was afraid she'd put a lot more hurdles and hoops in front of me, and I didn't want necessarily for her to, because I am a minister. I do work, pro bono, nonpartisan, and I didn't want to feel like I was totally aligning just with the Windsor clan, just because I have so many responsibilities. So now I have to go out there without any kind of support, take the heat. But the Windsors will back me up. But the key is I have to stay in the public limelight. Now that's a tricky problem area for me because I don't know how outrageous I have to be other than that woman from Australia shouting rape and being proud of it. Rape victims don't have that kind of thick skin. They're usually, oh my God, I'm mortified. I'm not going to call the police. I'm not going to, that kind of thing. And this woman is like rude, crude, and loud. So, but she's gotten her share of 15 minutes of fame. But like for me, I can't be so Girl Scout goody two shoes, but I have to find a comfortable medium of being out there, being relevant, and Meghan Markle's always going to be relevant, but I have to like find my army boots, jam them in the door, and stay there for everyone's good. So it's going to be a hard trick to pull off. I'm like, oh gosh, how do I do this? And how do I have my family not kill me while I'm doing this?
Those are good questions. So, the book comes out when?
4 to 6 weeks, late February, early March, I would say.
Okay, and do you have your press release ready?
No, do I need one?
Yeah?
Press release.
Yeah. Do you
How
have
do I get one?
your book trailer ready?
No, do I need one? Oh my God. You know
Yes.
what? Oh my God. Do they take care of it, the publishers, book trailer?
Nope, they don't do any of that stuff. Everything that I have to do self-publishing, you still have to
Oh
do. You just
God,
pay somebody a lot of money to do it.
you have to teach me. I don't have the money. I'm currently in debt, but I've never been in debt my entire life. I just moved to Arcadia in June 2022. First time in debt, but I think I'm just gonna get on my publisher's back. Hey, you're working, my editor is incredibly slow though. After I sent her the final manuscript, she kept on mailing me this nonsense back and forth, back and forth. And then I had to send her back, oh, this needs taking care. And then she'd be sitting there for a couple of weeks. It's like she was deliberately taking her time, so it wasn't, but consequently, she had more interaction with me. She knows all about my story, but she would just be taking her time for half a year. It was supposed to be published last year,
Right?
and now, I sent it to her on my birthday, uh, June 14 of 2022, and she's been drawing this out for half a year, and she's slow. So when I tell her about, and there's stuff, and I told her I need the media team right away because we need to generate a plan. By the time 4 to 6 weeks rolls around, we're going to be unprepared. And now I have to tell her about book trail and what was it, press pass? I have to do all that stuff, and she's
A press release.
press release for the book.
Right.
Okay.
The press release, a book trailer, so especially if you have something to put on your social media pages.
Okay.
Contact the different TV stations and seeing about getting a filler commercial. You can do that.
How did you do that, Sabrina? The TV stations, how do you do your connections? How in the world did you make that happen?
Got the good stuff here.
How did you do that? Oh my gosh, I have to learn. You got to teach me.
I'll tell you. You pray, and then
cost a fortune to go on television. Doesn't it cost a fortune, like the ABC, NBC, all that stuff?
Yes, but it maybe not. Maybe there's a pathway where it doesn't cost as much.
Oh God. Okay, after this call, you've got to give me the ABCs. Teach me, my friend. Teach me.
I have a course out there that you can get for $75, but
really?
I gave
oh my God,
for free. I gave you that video for free.
Okay.
And you didn't sit down and put 50 minutes, invest that 50 minutes into your own life to get that knowledge. I gave it to you for free.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so press release, book trailer, and ABC. You're saying network. What was the third one?
All right. You need your press release. You need your book trailer. You want your press release to come out around the time that your book is coming out so that people know to do it. It will go out to about 450 different news outlets throughout the United States. It does cost $80 to submit the press release.
$80 only?
No,
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh
$80. Now I know people who will charge $400 to $500, but I have a friend. I have a connection.
Oh my gosh!
I got.
Yeah, you are like my Encyclopedia Britannica for book publishing. So I wish you lived in Los Angeles so we could do this together.
But, I've been doing this since 2007. So, Queen of Kindness, got my own little tiara sent to me. Kim Lowe gave that to me. Gave me my tiara and my coat of arms and my title for Duchess. Her Royal Highness Duchess Sabrina Oxford, I'm sorry, Her Royal Highness Queen of Kindness Sabrina Oxford. Yeah.
I love it. One of those was actually offered to me by the Queen on the condition Mary Andrew and get one.
Let me tell you, the Queen knows me. She got my gifts. She didn't offer me no crown, but I did get a link to be able to watch the wedding for William and Kate while Oprah and Anderson Cooper were outside. And anybody who don't believe me, go to my Facebook videos because it's videoed and recorded.
That's the thing. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat coming out. That's why everything I do is documented these days. I document everything on Facebook highlights, on my Instagram, on my YouTube, so that no one can sue me or saying, "Oh, this girl's blowing smoke," because she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that kind of thing anyway. So I have to do a cross between coming off as a successful barrister for the royal family, a successful spokesperson, a successful broadcaster, media person, and then I have to come across as being a little bit, just a little bit funny or something in regards to debunking Prince Andrew myths. And then I have to say, not be so boring, like not be so, open but Girl Scout boring enough to stay in the media or something.
Hey, actress Ramona Howard would like to know what's it like being around the royal family.
Well,
Do you want to take this one or should I?
yeah,
No,
I'd love to answer that.
they're people just like us. They get dressed just like us. They have problems just like us. They might have more money than some people, but it gives them just as many problems just like all of us. They eat McDonald's and Burger King just like us.
I'd love to answer that question. It really is a lot of work. It is definitely not a walk in the park. I haven't had one free lunch in 10 years, but I love them. They're part of my extended friends across the Atlantic, extended family. I do take them seriously. They do take me very seriously, and I always worry about whatever they need. Like the Queen obviously had priorities regarding me, but I do worry about them. One of my biggest regrets is possibly not accommodating her and just not pushing so hard. I was never really sure about but I should just to make her happy, so she could just feel a little bit more comfortable, not so nervous, a little bit more at ease. I have so many of the royal family's emails. So many just belong to Queen Elizabeth. I know she worked nonstop all the time. Prince Philip posted on my page several times. I love them truly, and I think, we all respect one another, and we know where, we are coming from after 10 years. So, we know each other's characters and motives and things like that after 10 years. We're pretty transparent about that. Ironically, I've never seen them in 10 years, even though, every week I hear from them. I know they're for real because I have, quite a few Prince Andrew followers on Twitter, which the Queen followed me on Twitter and on Instagram, which I posted on Twitter as well. Um, and I know that Arthur Edwards follows me, the royal photographer. He does follow me on Twitter. And, I think Will and Kate did as well. But, it's all documented. So, you can go through my Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But what's it like? I think they're nice people. I think, honestly, they've grown dependent on me. I think they want me around, and I'd love to be around publicly in person for them. I don't want to do the cyberspace thing all the time. But somehow that means I have to pull a miracle out of my hat and get us all together and take a little bit of heat. At first the road's going to be rough and bumpy for like a nobody coming out of, but I'm not really making claims because everything is documented. So there's, you're highly insured. I think I am like rather respected and vulnerable, and things will. But I worry that when I do come out, uh, I'm not so worried that I won't be taken seriously because everything's documented. I worry that I'm not interesting enough, that I'm so blasé and boring that I won't be able to hold the media's attention and stay in the public eye, which is something that I have to do. You need controversy for that kind of stuff to stay in the public eye.
Right?
That means you have to juggle a couple balls in the air and possibly, I've been even thinking, honestly, maybe my whole thing, maybe if a lot of Prince Andrew's girlfriends in the past have already come out saying he's not this kind of person, including Kustark and another person, we just, I think, know him a little bit too well. I'm going to come out and have to stand behind my friend come hell or high water. And, that's the only, I'm thinking, honestly, as a person of integrity, that is the only honest path you can take to stay kind of in the limelight and yet promote your own interests and try to bring us all together, because I know that the Windsors miss me as a family. I know they'd love to have me around more. It's a difficult position for me to be in because I have to be in a position to keep everyone happy, not just the Windsors, right?
Right,
And
right.
right, and I have no doubt that President Biden knows me, and probably he'll just like drop a word or two, and so will Donald Trump. They probably won't say too much, but a little bit is enough. But at the same time, I don't want to be so boring that it's like one interview. I do want to be a public figure. That is my ambition. I know that sounds outrageous. People say she's a gold digger. No, that's not why I want to be a public figure. I need to be in public for all of my friends. If I'm not in public, if I'm not viable, if I'm not viable, me and my friends will have no kind of future together. And I want desperately to like join us all, like Democrats and Republicans. It's kind of a tall order to achieve. So, coming out, I was thinking if I said something pro against Prince Andrew or made that, I don't want to victim shame that person because, a lot of political, you can be put in political correct prison for that kind of thing. But, just draw some funny light to, be a body language expert, do some commentaries, support Prince Andrew, be a mystery person. A little bit. I think with a little bit of that, I can finally secure a little bit of credibility. And once they check my references, all will be good. And I'm sure when I did consult with Prince Charles about this, he said that my brother is a good, honorable man, and I would not mind if you did that because I think, he's a good, honorable man, and all this should go away. And if you could even bring Harry and Meghan back with us, that would be greatly appreciated because as a royal family, we have lawyers and teams, but we don't really have a lot of compassionate people who are going to go out there, put their necks on the line, and, guy. I can be that bad cop. I can, say things, I can be like, Prince Andrew doesn't have to take the bullet. I might like step in front of him and take the bullet for him. It's just that I feel like, I could use some negative publicity on myself, even though it's not negative publicity, it's controversial. And I wouldn't be lying or doing anything dishonest, but, I feel bad that he felt compelled to have to pay like a couple of $1 million to this woman's charity. But this woman, you check her background, she got married in 10 days. Who does that? I've known Prince Andrew for 10 years. Um, and the Queen loved me, so I wouldn't have this kind of problem. Also, this woman, she was pointing fingers at Alan Dershowitz, and I saw that poor Harvard professor on YouTube. I absolutely refute these claims, and I, invite her to come out to the public forum. And, just recently, she just retracted those accusations. And recently, I saw on YouTube, Andrew was probably thinking about, you know, um, reverse suing and getting his money back because, it's, untenable what they did to his honor. It's just complete travesty of justice. I think you don't go around and ruin someone's reputation like that, like especially a royal or aristocrat. That is like a truly heartless thing to do. And the fact that America, a lot of us believe it, it means that we have no generosity in our hearts. Even within this liberal country, there's innocent before proven guilty, and we couldn't even give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I am totally ashamed of what our society has sunk to. Basically what I blame is like the tabloids and news journalists. All these people blow these things out of proportion, make a story where there wasn't one, just to boost ratings. Everyone's guilty of it. It's like like a roller coaster that never stops. One like ABC, NBC, all these newscasters, they have to make the guy look dirty. And he's not a dishonorable person. This is the first stain on his reputation, and we're all ready to accept that he did these things, but we absolutely have no proof, and we're not making his life any easier either. So I'm gonna try to go out there and mitigate it.
I can tell. As for that, you did bring up the Harry and Meghan thing, and I do want to say something about that. So let me speak for a second.
Okay.
I realize people are very upset about the book Spare. So I'm going to tell you, this book right here, my first book, Worthy, you'd be just as angry and upset at me. The only difference?
Why?
The only difference is that I am not a part of the royal members family. But because this book was wrote with a different emotion, different content, and I thought it was going to be my last book. I mean, I thought I was going to write one book, commit suicide, and be done. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I've been frustrated.
This book was my last words to everybody, to 100 people that I wanted to sit there and give last words to. Yeah. That I thought would help make them be better people. so that in their next time they come across someone, they might treat them better. I also put in here a chapter of betrayed, where I took 10 people that I felt betrayed me the most and found a reason for me to stand in front of God and say, you are worthy. And that was hard.
But you know what? I really don't.
But
I don't blame
let me
Harry
finish.
for writing his
Finish.
book.
Right, but let me finish. So in this book is things about my brother shooting me, is things about me being in foster
Oh my
care, is things
God.
about being raped and beaten and things like that. This book does have those things in there because I was done with life. And then I got done with it and I'm like, oh, well, writing it down made me feel better. Hey, I'll write another one. But that's how I really ended up becoming an author.
But you know what? I totally hear you, Sabrina. I totally feel you. You know, Prince Harry, what he was doing is just a cathartic experience. I think Harry
Right.
and Meghan, you know, both needed that. They're all pent up in the royal family. They're bombarded by this, by that. You know, at some point or another, you got to speak your truth. It may not work for everyone, but it works for them. And, you know, at a certain point, we just got to respect that. I don't really blame him for writing it. I know that, you know, but he can't be as tight as Kate and William. And they just like never let their feelings out, always have a smile plastered on their face. You know, Harry and Meghan are only human at the end of the day, you know,
Right.
and you know, I feel
Mary's
like,
fed up with the fakeness of it. He
you know
wants to
what?
be real.
In this country, we need to have a little bit more respect. Have you noticed that this country does not have respect for royals or aristocrats? We're dissing Prince Andrew, we're dissing Prince Harry, we're dissing Meghan. And you know, why should we diss Meghan? I'm just thinking maybe it is a racist thing because I think that she's a nice, genuine person. I don't know why anyone would say, oh, she's not a Hollywood star. Or, and you know, I even heard a comment, Queen, you know, B. I don't know why they would call her names like that. I mean, she's never done anything wrong in her life. Why are we giving her a hard time? Just let live and let live. And you know, I think we've forgotten how to spell the word respect in this country. I really do.
Here,
I mean, we should
here's a
respect,
newsflash.
empathy, compassion. Let's have some of it and just
Here's a newsflash. Here's a newsflash. Perhaps Harry was meant to marry somebody different, and he chose his mate instead of letting the royal family choose his mate. And maybe that's what I'll say about it. And maybe
but you know
that's
what?
maybe because he didn't marry Chelsea, who everybody expected him to marry.
But
Everybody.
there must be something really special about Megan because he didn't marry Chelsea, having been with
Right.
her for so many years.
He
He didn't marry Cressida.
made his
So he's a
choice.
picky person, and you know when he was with Megan, he was very gung ho, very enthusiastic. So I feel like he really has made the right decision because they are like you know perfectly you know like their backgrounds, their genetic backgrounds are different, but they think and they act as one, and I think they're very harmonious hand in hand couple, kind of like unified always and sweet together.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't Chelsea. They wanted him to marry Chelsea. He didn't marry Chelsea. That's where you're going to get the riffraff in the family. Difference is that their family is royal, so it's on TV, so it's publicized, and everybody in the world feels that they get to have two says in it. But everybody in the world, if that was their family
Uh-huh.
and somebody came in and said something about their family, they say, you don't have a right to say anything. You don't know all the facts and pieces. But because it's
Yeah,
royal and people need something to bash instead of lift up and promote.
yeah,
Like
I
this
know.
book
It's
is
like
all about promoting people, lifting them up. You know, maybe he needs to do a different book now that he vented out his hurt. And that's what people need to understand. He's hurting. And if you don't acknowledge that, he could end up being dead, and not because somebody ended his life, but because he ended it because it's too much pressure. You
you're
got to be
basically looking at thousands of dollars of therapy bills. He's a young man. If he needs therapy, he needs to do what he needs to do. He needs to do what he feels is right. And you know, there's nothing that was so bad. I was telling Charles, there's nothing that was so bad between these two. Why are we like treating them like criminals? So, you know, they blabbed a little bit. So what? You know, they're still good people. I mean, we still love them at the end of the day, and we gotta support our family no matter what. They shouldn't have lost their title, I don't believe. And, you know,
no.
they're still good people. And what's there not? I just asked Charles, you know, what's there not to love about them? I mean, he's still your son. I'm sure you still love him. And, you know, Megan, she didn't really do anything. They're guilty of blabbing, but it's not like a cardinal sin or anything like that, right?
No, but here's the deal. I had family members. This is like the 6th or 7th different version of this book. I had people ask me to take me out of it. because they didn't want me to reveal secrets. But the truth is how is anyone else in the world going to learn how to heal from something if we keep everything a secret? Guess what, people? There are people in the world who get beaten and raped and shot at and held captive, and I've gone through all of that. So I do know there are people out there because I've been through it all. So
You know,
you have to have
Sabrina,
a book.
you still have a smile on your face, and you're still keeping your chin up, which is good. I mean, you've been the victim, but you're not going to let it overtake your life. You're going to
Oh
go
no,
out
I'm
there
a
and love
victim.
on
Somebody
people
else walked
and do
in.
things. Yeah, do good things and just make the world a better place. You know, I think,
I'm not.
I think,
Hey, I'm gonna clarify. I am not a victim. I'm a person that God puts in somebody's life when they did something too many times to too many people, and then God says, you know what? This daughter of mine, she will speak up. She will tell people. I'm gonna make her go through this horrible situation so that you never rape or beat or hurt or murder another human being. Now, even though 5 different people tried to murder me, I count 4.5 because one girl was too drugged up to
oh my gosh,
understand
a
that what
girl
she
tried
was.
to murder you? Why would a,
Yeah, a lot of my brother had shot me.
oh my gosh.
Um, Another person had me beat up. Another person, I got knifed. Yeah, I don't want to talk about. I'll start crying. But yeah, we can talk about this privately. But yes, I've gone through a hell of a life. I'm not going to lie about it. But I also know that my main focus is to help foster care go to college. And when I am in somebody's life that's doing something wrong, it's not because I'm a victim. It's I now have the knowledge is because that person is skilled at that wrongness, and somebody needs to put a stop sign in front of it, and I am a stop sign. I will
Yeah.
put my foot down and say, you're not doing this anymore. This action is over. What, however long you've been doing it in your life, you are now over. You're now going to jail. I put a lot of people in jail and prison for what they've done.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you're in front of the media, if they don't trust you, you just got to speak from the heart. You got to speak bluntly. You know, if you put on airs, people are thinking you're out there for the fame or the publicity. If you just like speak honestly, like no holds barred. I mean, I don't have any makeup on except for lipstick, but you see like an honest, genuine person, not, and you can tell when people are trying to be sincere, and when people have good intentions or when they're just out to con other people, I think at the end of the day it's hard, like if you're in a marriage with somebody who's like dishonest, or it's hard living with that person because you see that person burp and fart, and no, I do it, and we all do it, we're all fallible, we all trip, but you see it to the heart at the end of the day. And I think, you can get gray, you can put on weight, and you can look ugly and have to go to retirement home and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if you have family, like, or a spouse who believes in you, trusts you, and your intentions are pure and good, you're still going to survive through all that nonsense, no matter what kind of stuff is thrown at you.
Right.
You're still going to survive. You're going to still be able to move forward. But, and it doesn't even have to be respectable. It doesn't even have to be respectable. As long as you just like get through it honestly, half the battle is won. And I think, you're not out for ambition. And if you're not an egotistical person, who cares? But at least you're doing your job and doing something. And like you said, Sabrina, you got to put, you got to put your foot down at some point or another. And 10 years. Well, okay. Here's the like they're putting Harry and Meghan on a spit and roasting in front of the media, so I guess I have to go out there and join them now. It's like, okay, well, throw another dead body in here. I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer to go to the army, or throw another dead body in, or who are we gonna roast next? Okay, here's this girl. We can make her life miserable. I'm like, okay, bring it on. That's fine. I'll volunteer for the Spitfire. I'll volunteer to be roasted. I'll volunteer. I'll do it. I'll do it. Like, I'm not trying to be like a gold digger. I'm not trying to be a serapher. I'm not trying to be any of those things. I'm just trying to be me. I'm trying to save my friends, and whatever, negativity that you want to bring upon me is good, but I hope that this negativity holds. Because if it doesn't hold, I may be dead in the water, sent back, and not called back in for more interviews. I have to make it all about, oh gosh, I am Prince Andrew's alibi. That is my whole platform. Keep it short
I
and
think
simple
what
because
you need to
Americans
make
love
it all
short and
about
simple.
is your new book that's coming out and focusing on acting and your book. That's what I think. That's what I think. because their lives are going to unfold anyway. So keep doing what you can do to help them, but you got to focus on Grace Arabella Lee.
Yeah, I know. I'm not such an egotistical person that I'm going to talk about myself all day long, but I would love to get some more work, soap operas and stuff. I'd love to bridge this gap with the royal family. I mean, I think they are my family. They're just like far away. How do I cross the Atlantic Ocean? I have to basically put them on my back, and I have to crawl my way out of here when the house goes up in smoke and fire. So basically, that's okay. I can do that. I want to do that. I do. That's the only way to resolve these issues. I think in the long term, it will pan out pretty well for everyone involved. I know this sounds bad, but I'm not trying to be a hero or anything like that. I don't even think I have a big enough ego to care how I look like. Although my point of vanity when I go out there is, God, I hope I don't look as fat as I do now. And I hope my makeup is better.
Don't worry about how much weight you have.
Yeah, I know. I definitely put on the weight, and believe me, supporting an entire family is exhausting, Sabrina. I feel like today I couldn't even get up. I slept through most of the day, and I'm a little bit more run down, a little more tired, but I'm still trudging, right? And I may not be the most interesting. I may not be the most controversial person, not the most interesting person. People want slim and svelte and make a lot of noise, but I have to straddle all those states. Hopefully, I can lose some weight. Hopefully, I can come off rude. Hopefully, I can draw some controversy behind me. And hopefully, I don't come off too goody two shoes because no one likes them and I won't be called back. I can't be goody two shoes. I have to have a really controversial form to get all of those, like I have a noise blaster in my hand. I have to be rude and honk that noise blaster so that all the local national media will be on my tail. I think the only way to do that is to do that Prince Andrew. Put it on me. I'm going to answer all your questions, and I'm going to be his alibi, and do something that tabloid media will love. Because even people like Megyn Kelly, everyone, serious news journalists, Piers Morgan, these guys are supposed to be serious, but they're roasting my friends up there. These guys are serious, but they're roasting Megyn and Harry. So they're helping in a truthful way. Serious news is all tabloid these days, so I've got to be a kind of like a tabloid girl. I'm just going to say, I know this sounds obnoxious, but it's actually true on Prince Andrew's alibi for the last 10 years. You can, and then they're going to ask me questions like, well, this was over 10 years ago, but I predate Meghan Markle, and I've known this family right after Will and Kate's wedding. So I know a lot about them, and also I'm going to have to, they're going to what about this? This happened in 2007. I said, I'm going to point to the facts here. Ghislaine Maxwell recently said that picture was photoshopped. To me, it always looked photoshopped. To me, it looked like Virginia Roberts was just a metaphor. Get it? Virginia Roberts. It was never supposed to come to anything. It was just a news story thrown out there. And then this woman, Virginia Giuffre, randomly comes from Australia. It has a faint resemblance, and she's shouting that I'm that person. And, she's not mentally ill or competent enough to stand trial and to see it through to the end, and I have to go out there and debunk all of this. It's just a big headache for the royal family. I'm going to go clear it up, like it or not.
And by truthfulness, then do that, but don't add a lie to a situation because that will.
These newscasters aren't helping. I hate to say this, Piers Morgan is not being nice just because Meghan. He's spitting all this vitriol, and he's starting a flame. You can hurt a lot of people by being presenting yourself as an honest newscaster and then spitting out all these lies and innuendo, and even Charles says his brother's honorable. His brother's honorable. I wouldn't mind if you did that because we've had enough grief in our family. Prince Philip, whom I was close to, the Queen, who loves me, and and I've had so many, and I hear from her all the time. She calls me my daughter. You put so much pain in our hearts and a lot of stress and grief. And quite frankly, the royal family is a dignified family. We're not going to stoop to taking a prince to court. So we'd rather pay you and make this go away because we're not going to stand there and dignify. And the whole reason Prince Andrew was nervous during that interview is because, he has rather delicate sensibilities being in the royal family. If you spit out something so vulgar, so outrageous, it's either a TMZ joke, which nobody's going to believe, which I may have to try to turn this into, but then I'd be accused of victim blaming. But there's no way in 1 minute that I would ever believe this story is true because I was there, front and center for the last 10 years. And then you have, then you have Andrew, saying, and I think he was very honest. I mean, and quite frankly, we've all had friends like Jeffrey Epstein, successful people like Donald Trump. There must be something outside of him being perverted that he must be like good in some ways, like successful. Like Donald Trump isn't the most politically correct person, but he's successful in other ways, so we like him for other reasons. That doesn't necessarily mean we gravitate toward Jeffrey Epstein, but you can't be such a judgmental Christian that says, "Oh, I only have this kind of friends. I don't, go outside my world. I don't have friends who are riffraff." We've all had, we're all human beings, and we all respect and like friends for different reasons. The fact that Jeffrey Epstein hung himself in jail, okay, so he's a pervert, but he's taking care of his own business. We don't have to, and I think Andrew really was being very frank. He said he wouldn't associate with Jeffrey, but that he was very loyal. And I think he was telling the truth. Just because we didn't believe him, I think the only reason we didn't believe him was because, and it wasn't sweating. He was just having delicate sensibilities because, who would dignify any of this crap, first of all? And second of all, the media is like, taking this story and making a whirlwind tornado out of it and blowing it completely out of proportion. I mean, and we have so many factors that we could stand up. That Alan Dershowitz thing was recently retracted. Okay, that was number one. Ghislaine Maxwell said that picture was photoshopped. 2 of Andrew's girlfriends said it was nonsense. So that's 4. And, it was just and then 5, this woman from Australia she really is looking for a payday. I just feel sorry for Andrew that he doesn't have adequate representation. If I were a barrister in the royal family, I'd make sure he was protected and stand up for him whether he needed it or not. But all he has is these quiet royal barrister advisors, but they are used to taking orders from the prince. So the prince says he doesn't want a big hubbub. But, your reputation is your hubbub. If I have to, stand up for him and take the heat, at least this whole thing would be cleared up. It may not be the smoothest ride going down, but we're equipped to deal with it, and we're going to deal with it,
Right, I hear that. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 second. Victor was going to stop by, and I just wanted to see if he's stopping by. Yeah, you do sound like you still have a bit of a cold, sweetie. That's too
Well,
bad.
no, it's just a little, not really a cold. I'm a little, just a tad bit because, well, it's been raining on and off here. We had a downpour and then a real dry spell.
Right?
And here in Los Angeles, so tomorrow rain is also expected. Tomorrow's Monday, right? Okay, this is how tired I am.
Yeah.
But
Monday.
yeah, so yeah, we did have heavy showers, and then dry spell. The weather really has been a little bit weird here in California, but well, in Los Angeles where I live, at least. But I don't know why. I feel like there's this force field around my house, and just me coming out is going to be unifying factor for all of us because, whether or not the royal family admits it right now, I'm sure we can sort things out. But I've been the missing link to a lot of these stories. A missing link to a lot of the headlines. I see my friends on the tabloids all the time. It's about time someone just went out there and rectified it in any kind of way. Even if it comes off sloppy or whatever, we're doing our best to clean it up and speak honestly and with integrity, speak the truth, and try to set affairs and priorities in order. So I think that's important.
That is very important. Okay, well, we definitely covered a lot about the royal family.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Sabrina, if you hear from them once a week and they drive you crazy only because they're constantly running up your cell phone. No, I'm just joking. I have T-Mobile, so it's unlimited, unfortunately, and they do take advantage of the fact that it's unlimited, so it's nonstop. It's I have to get off the hamster wheel, Sabrina. It's nonstop messaging. I need you. I want to talk to you. I miss you, but it's I'm not showing up for you. I don't know why they're not showing up for me. But I gotta set some things in the affairs straight, and just get to it. Let's get down to business. Let's clear this up. Let's handle business. It's been too long, and you can be a shy wallflower all your life, but you're not doing a service to yourself. You're not doing a service to your friends and family. You're not living the life that you should be living.
Right. My camera's getting off here. All right. Well, is there anything you want to talk more about your book, where people can buy it?
Well,
I know it won't be out for another 5-6 weeks. Can they pre-order it?
I don't think so. My publisher and editor has been, she has been lacking in so many details. I don't know. I think I spook her or something, but she's been drawing this out for 6 months. And every time I ask her direct questions, she doesn't get to me for weeks. And it's just been, like a like phone call tag system, which she doesn't pick up the phone or she leaves messages, and things have just been drawn out. I probably need your expertise in moving forward, my friend,
I
because
sent you a 48-minute video that
okay,
tells you everything.
I'm gonna check that out, and then I'm gonna bug and harass you about how to get to do this because I need to know about the trailer. I need to know about the press release, and what's the third thing? The ABC thing you said.
Trying to get on TV.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Commercials.
Yeah. How do I do that without going bankrupt?
Well, the first two, you go to Fiverr.com.
Uh-huh.
The last one, you go on your internet and you look up filler commercial, cost for filler commercials in your area for your TV station in your area. Then you go down to the station in your area with your commercial on a disc and give it to them. And then when there are open spots, you pay a less fee. And then when there are open spots, they can put your commercial on there.
How much did you pay, Sabrina? I mean, because I'm bankrupt, so I don't know how to pay anything. But how much did you pay?
We could discuss that off camera.
Oh, okay. So filler commercials, that's important, right? The filler commercials is important. So that means like you have to be prepared for a little bit of like I'm like totally disheveled today, but it's probably okay, right? All right. So we need to do, it's distributed by Ingram Sparks. I hope to go international if it really becomes like a classic or something. Ingram Sparks is a large book distributor, right? So I hope to see it in Barnes & Noble, Vroman's, everywhere, Amazon, Kindle.
You watch the video, I tell you how to do that.
Okay, I'm going to watch the video, and then I'm going to bug you ceaselessly about this, okay?
Right on. Yeah, you can get in there. You can get on those. I can also hook you up with a connection that can translate your book into any other language you want.
Oh my gosh, I can kiss you. Oh my God, I need that. I need that because I really need that. I think it would go great international. I think I wrote it for the general public, the general audience. I did not have a demographic in mind. I was hoping to reach all demographics. So the fact that we could find a way to translate it would be awesome because I think this is like a universal book. Like most audiences love Sound of Music and things like that. It's very much like intense romance like that, except it's a little bit more long-winded, I would say.
All right. Well, then. I mean, nobody does it for free, but I know a whole bunch of things that are usually under $100, anywhere from $5 to $100. So
okay,
you know what? Right here, I'll give you this. If you want your book edited, another option that I do not put on the video is that you can always go up to the local high school or your local college and ask a teacher if they would, an English teacher, if they would edit it for $100. And
it's already been edited. That's what my publishers are for.
If you get to that part, if your next book, if you are self-publishing only, where somebody's not editing it for you, that is a inexpensive way to get your stuff edited. Is to go to English teachers and offer them $100 or $200, depending on how big your book is, to edit it. Now, I did that for my children's book, and I only had to pay $20 because it's a children's book, and there's only, like 100 words. It's 50 pages, but you only have so many words. Maybe 200 words, 500 words. I don't know, but not a lot of words. So I'm just saying there are options, other options.
I think that sounds good, Sabrina. I think all of that sounds good. And so the thing is, filler commercials is the key, right?
Yes,
Filler
filler.
filler commercials. All right, because I don't mind being the bad guy as long as we get this done. Quite frankly, it's just something to get done, and also, you got to put out some and somehow I have to find a media presence. Somehow I have to stay out there without being booted off. Oh, you're too boring, or this is too embarrassing, or this is too direct, or this is too, like, this is too, like, this is just too much truth that we don't want to hear, or stuff like that. There's so many reasons that they could shut you down, but I think, one foot in front of the time, if you don't care about making a fool of yourself, which I don't, I think we could get this done.
All right, good,
All right.
awesome. All right, well,
Yeah,
let's go
thank you
ahead.
so much for, uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, I got a little star. Joyce came up. Hi, Joyce. Let's do a shout out real quick, people in Rome. My friend Joyce is here. My friend Victor's here. Actress Ramona Howard. Um, Victor does his own show as well, so awesome to see him. And then, of course, Matt Ebergson, going to be in the next upcoming book, in the first one, and then Hans. So I have another book coming out in October. I'm collecting names. I got 24 names out of the 100 I need.
24 names. Okay. All right. So I have to get all my publishers back because we have to work on all the items that you presented me with. And I don't care if it's a sloppy presentation as long as it gets out there, and as long as I stay out there. That's important to me.
Right. Well, the best way to stay out there is you're only as good as the last thing you did. So
Right.
when you do something,
I have to stay viable, stay active, do something.
Yeah.
Right.
When you do have your book go out there, then use it for as long as you can, and then you got to write another book.
Okay. I know I'm going to think about ideas for book 2, including the Windsors. I'm going to drag them down with me. I want us all to be in a car together and die together. I'm just joking, but they're going to be my leverage. So they can honestly ask, is this girl for real lying or whatever, and they can answer all your questions. So that way, I have a little bit of references and heat and whatever. I could say out anything I want, and the Windsors, who are addicted to me anyway, will back me up even though they don't want to take the brunt of the bullet. I can do it. So I'll be happy to do it. And yeah, that sounds good to me. Oh my gosh, all of it sounds good. I'm like totally excited and gung ho about this now. But how come none of the publicists have called me back?
Well, when they're doing their thing, they don't really want to be harassed by the author. They want the author to pay their $4,000 to $10,000, do the stuff in their own time, which is 1 month for this, 1 month for this. They drag it out so it appears as if it's this hard, difficult, long process, so you emotionally feel better about the quantity of funding you gave up. But the truth of the matter is it under $300, you can have a press release, your video video trailer for your book, your editing, and the book up in 7 days. So somewhere between 3 to 500, depending on what you want to, what all you want to get involved, what you want to do. Because the press release is about $80.
We have been going back and forth about this, but I'm not someone who doesn't mind like being thrown into the fire feet first and stuff like that. It's just we'd be saving each other a lot of time that way. Okay, so I'm gonna get on my editor about a trailer, a press release, filler commercials, and what was that? You said, can we purchase a book online? How do I purchase a book online? So wouldn't I have to upload my book to KDP Amazon or something?
KDP Amazon. And to upload to lulu.com.
Okay. Upload to Lulu? Okay.
That'll give you your ISBN number. I think KDP now does give you an ISBN number too.
Okay, this is going to be a different ISBN.
I'm
sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. This is me, no caffeine. Then Dorrance and Ex Libris, right? Let's go and sell this thing then. Let's go sell this thing. I mean, I'd be saving myself from bankruptcy if I'm on a dying lifeboat and I have to drag my friends in. I'm gonna be the one, the yellow raincoat. Hey, hey, I'm here to save you. I'm here, the Titanic. I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back for you. Get on, get on, get on this boat. I'm trying to help you, Andrew. Get on. I'm trying to help. Like, I'm trying to help Will and Kate and all those people. So finally, we're gonna get our shit together. We're all gonna become unified, one happy family, friends and family, and we're all gonna get on the same page because a lot of the separation between us and Atlantic Ocean doesn't even have to be. And a lot of this stuff I could have cleared up for them if they would let me, but they were more harping on, oh, you first worry about getting the royal membership card. I'm like, I'm gonna go save my friends. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to worry about like you go get the royal membership card first, and we'll play it that way. But they're really like I think that role membership card thing, basically where you're coming into the family, gives them a sense of security. Like if the queen loves me, misses me, hey, it's been 10 years, you better get over here, girl. You know, it gives them a sense of security, and they're used to a lot of protocol in their family. They're used to doing step A, step B, step C, and they want to run you through the firm, run you through the machine. But I can't. I can't sit on the sidelines while my friends are getting roasted either. I think that's really unethical to watch it go down. I've already seen it go down. I've offered to help, and so far it was more like they had their priorities. They wanted me to not worry about that, the royal membership card. But you know what? After 10 years of Queen's passing, one of my biggest regrets was I didn't get it to make her happy. Um, Now I have to do something, pull a
Yeah,
miracle
I'm
out of
very
the
disappointed that you didn't get that card.
Yeah, and it was only 2,000. It was, but the thing is, I was afraid that, I always had my aunt's words on the back of my hand. They're not for real, and then she would like make light of things. Oh, the queen messaged me. Oh, did she want money from you? And like, she would always like try to like make me feel like, it was a nobody or I'm a nothing. She had a little bit of that competitive thing going through her. So I didn't want to be a situation which I had a Prince Charles look-alike at Heathrow Airport. Did I tell you when I went to England, I had a Prince Charles look-alike
Oh,
at Heathrow Airport?
did it fall?
Oh, no, no, I'm okay. Can you still hear me? Well, anyway,
I
he
can
said
hear you.
we have a bit of a nervous flyer here. He was like really nervous. So we're like we have a little bit of a nervous flyer here. Also, when I went on that rich person's tour, I was the last person on that bus, the very last person on that bus. I kid you not. I think it was a Globus bus tour, and then we went to all these old historic like it was basically like Kate and Leopold. You know that movie where she travels in time? You could see the windows. The castle windows had no screens. Out houses. There's no nothing was really up to date. But we went to like Hampton Court Palace or whatever, and I think I saw Prince Charles like looking at the flowers in the gardens, and then there was another look-alike at the airport. But we have a nervous flyer here. Just a heads up. Just a heads up. So that's what's going down. Yeah, we got to do everything in our power to just consolidate our resources because I feel like the royal family, when it comes to me, is kind of helpless. I don't know why they won't stand up for me. They're nervous around me. There's this like force field. I have to stand up. And when I presented King Charles, he says, "Yes, let's do it." I mean, he said, "Yes, we'll support you." But even Will and Kate, I asked Kate, and she was very supportive about everything I had to say. I said I want to tag along, but William wanted to schedule a video conference call with me. I think he was too nervous to go through with it or something. And then he hasn't gotten back to me since then. But I wanted to tag along. I presented him with a lot of reasons, and he just wasn't taking. I mean, he would take it, but he didn't really give me a definitive answer on that either. But they both. He wanted like a chatty chat, but I was so tired that I didn't have time to go back and forth, back and forth. I just wanted to get down to business because I've been friends with him for 10 years as well. I've been friends with Kate 10 years as well. Let's just get out there and do this. You know, like when Will and Kate went to Harvard, they just got out and did it. Let's just go out and do this. I mean, I may not be known to the public, but it's about time that,
I don't think
like Baroness
he
Schrader
went
said
to
to Captain Von
Harvard, but
Trapp. Like Baroness Schrader said to Captain Von Trapp, it's about time let's have a ball. I want to be introduced to all your friends. And it's just like I'm a family member here too, Will, and I love all of you. All of you guys are precious in my life, and you've known me for the last 10 years. When have I ever asked you for anything? And this is actually a very important cause because we're getting your brother back into the fold. We're uniting us all, and also I have to speak up for Prince Andrew. So can we do this now? So it was more like, let's get down to business. And everyone, I don't know, everyone is always like dropping the ball on me. I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to some and not a mystery to others.
Yeah, so,
So,
but you know what? The weirdest thing is when I call the FBI, sometimes I get the runaround too. But I think lately they've been tracing me. Thank God I have a good file with them and not a bad file.
right,
But,
right, right.
and the most promising thing that happened in my life recently was the Biden had papers in his garage or something. I feel like finally my friends, life is like a metaphor. They're kind of like, I don't think it was about papers in a garage or something. I don't think that Virginia Roberts story was necessarily a real one. I think it was more like a metaphor, but at least they're sticking their heads out there just to get a little bit of light on that. He goes, yeah, the papers are in the garage, as is my Corvette. Okay, get on my.
All
So,
right.
so I don't
So
know
let's,
why. It's like the royal
right,
family has been like 10 years they've been stringing me along. Do this for me, I'll help your career. Do this for me, do this. But they never really resolve any of the problems, You have to talk rudely and bluntly in order to get our ducks aligned. And I'm the one who has to go out there with a bulletproof vest and, oh my gosh, lay all your hate on me. I love it. I love it. Like, bring more hate, bring more heat, because that means I'm going to stay in the public eye. I'm going to get more interviews. I'm like, I love that negativity. I love that vitriol. Give me more. But seriously, I would do just about anything for them. So that's,
right.
you all make choices at the end of the day. I feel like this has been a long time coming, Sabrina. 10 years of getting nowhere, I feel like, why don't we do this earlier? It's not like I care about my image. Look at me. I'm fat, blubbered out, gray hair, not shiny. I'm like a wreck. And my eyes aren't even open. It's like I haven't got that much sleep, and I'm old and I'm tired. I'm just laying it out for you, and I don't know why that like the publicists or the media aren't taking the bait. I've already sent multiple emails out, and nobody's responded. I don't know why, but it's a continual
Wait a
source of
minute. Wait a
frustration.
minute. You are trying to go around without your makeup on to get the paparazzi to take a picture of you so that you can
No,
get your book
I don't
promoted?
know where to find the paparazzi. I don't know where to find the paparazzi, but what I've done is I have emailed the FBI, Secret Service, United Nations,
And what are you
genuine
trying to
media sources.
accomplish with
What?
the email? What are you trying to
Well, because
accomplish?
I felt like Donald Trump says there's a lot of fake news. You might want to do public service and shed some light on it. Once and for all. It's not that hard for me, and
All right.
while you have this material in your possession, you might as well do it.
Right. Okay. Grace, here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
We're here to promote you, and we keep getting off the track. We just really want to promote you. So right now, we're going to go back to Grace Arabella Lee, actress and author, who's having The Good Witch of Winchester, right? Right?
Yeah.
Winchester?
Uh-huh.
The Good Witch of Winchester coming out in about 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And she's a side actress, always looking for more important roles. And well, not that there are no unimportant roles. Everybody needs to be there, even the extras, because you can't have a movie without extras. But if you're watching this and you would like an actress that's willing to show up and has a voice to promote your movie, because she will talk your movie around, that's great. She'll talk it up. Then you can contact her. And how can they contact you? What's a way that they could contact you to have you on a movie set?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Look me up, Google me, message me on Facebook,
There you go, Facebook.
request my email through my phone number through messaging. Just like I can be Googled these days. Like, because I'm all over so many social media sites. Just Google me, and you could contact me straight away. I'd love to be open to discuss anything and to talk about anything, and I'll handle it all.
Right on. All right, so there you go. We've been on for a while, so we're gonna have to wrap up the show. That's why I'm getting this way, not to cut her off or anything like that. But we've had a very informative show with Grace Arabella Lee, actress and author, and royal connect. So she
You
is
know what,
wife.
Sabrina? I'm literally going to have to be stepping on Prince Andrew's coattails to get myself out of here and into the public sphere. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to be obnoxious. There may be even parts where the royal family is going to say they don't like it, but I'm going to do it for their own good, and they're going to be thanking me later. I know that sounds like a leap of faith, but I don't care. I want this thing done
Do
and
you
out.
think that
And
you
I
could?
don't realize it's not just a one-time interview. I realize I'm going to have my ass on the firing line for months to come and years, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's just get the ball rolling.
Do you think that you could accomplish helping them by doing something positive over something negative?
You know what? Positive. I definitely believe that. I definitely want to be like a minister like my friend Joel Osteen, who I admire. Except, in American politics, you can't talk Christianity, but I would talk goodness. I would talk like getting our different factions united in um, under one banner, Team Grace. Like, my Democratic friends, Bill and Hillary. My Republican friends, the Trumps, and let's all get together. And we know each other as friends, we know each other as adversaries. But at the end of the day, if we have love and respect, there's no way that, it's like divisions of a family, getting a division of a family together, whether you're a politician or a royal. If it's important enough, we get it done at the end of the day. If we have big enough hearts, if we're in public service for the right reasons, then we get it done at the end of the day. Then we come together under one banner because there's nothing so important that's so divisive that would split us all up. We're all friends at the end of the day. I know we know each other. I put you politicians and royals and Hollywood people in separate groups, and sometimes I mix you guys up together, and filmmaker groups are different. But we've got to live under one roof and kumbaya together, and I think that we can do it. And I think this is the most important political move of all because you are out there. If I were a politician and preacher, I wouldn't like to do the same old sermons every Sunday. If I were a politician, I wouldn't want to do the paperwork. But if I have important things to say and do, I want to see to those priorities before anything else. And I think that getting us all together outside of the political world is very important. I think showing a unity of strength and support outside of the world is very important. I think the fact that we can all be reasonable human beings, like I said, Donald Trump's a reasonable human being. You have to talk to him in a reasonable way. Um, if we can put aside all of our nonsense and find common ground on which we can get together, my Republican and Democratic friends, and the divided factions of the royal family, I think that would be a capital idea. I think that's a noble goal to aspire to. I think that's an important thing because I see all of this negativity, and frankly, we don't need to waste time on this negativity. We need to have like what George Bush said, a kinder, gentler nation in which we support one another. We don't need all this hate, focused on Andrew or Harry and Meghan. Let's all just, see the good. We're not acting as Christians, and I know in this country we have freedom of religion, but we don't have to be Christians. We can be neighbors at the end of the day and good citizens. That means we have to support one another and give each other the benefit of the doubt, be gracious with one another, have generous hearts, be gracious enough to see the good. And instead of spinning this visual of Megan's not a Hollywood star, she's a queen, something, you know what? She's not pushy princess. Her stepsister is already doing a lot of the negative talking. But I don't think we need negative people swallowing up our world and people crying rape, taking over our lives, and putting a really cynical spin on everything. I think if I were a preacher or a politician, my first priority.
Oh, I think the show ended.